started with the expo and we were focused on the expo, but then something just in my heart and spirit was like, man, with the talent that we have on board and the members that we have and the hearts they have to lead and be willing to go out into the community and help others and see others develop, we can't just stop there. So emerging business leaders are founded off of 3 pillars, and we had just discussed this in our last meeting. Our pillars are just basically community engagement and website development, business development. And in that, we focus on, how can we engage with the community and help develop the community? What are ways that we can actually go into our community? So a lot of us are from North County, St. Louis, and a lot of us grew up in North County, St. Louis, and we've seen some of the struggles, and even from East St. Louis, St. Louis. And I grew up in East St. Louis, and we've seen some of the struggles that are happening in our communities today. And we've seen some of the struggles that some of the youth are facing in our communities today, between gun violence, lack of resources, lack of better education, lack of just overall resources that are, given to our people. And so for us, we established ourselves. We went to college and we went off and went to school for a couple of years and did what we did. And, now we're coming back, and now we're coming into the phases where we had our mentors that were doing the work. And now it's a changing of the guard. And now we're actually stepping up. And that's hence the name of the reason emerging business leader, because it's a changing of the guard. Now we are these new mentors, these new vessels that are coming forth and to be willing to actually step out and help our community. So we do work around, community development. We just recently had our post yesterday. We had in the gun violence rally, and that's our second pop-out session. We're planning a lot more events that are going to be leaning towards, community development and community engagement and business development. We got a curriculum that we're developing right now that's going to be used in after-school programs and Boys and Girls Club, Big Brother, Little Sisters, working out with some of the schools in North County, St. Louis. And we're going to develop this business curriculum that's going to actually teach youth in their after-school programs on how to create their own business, how to operate and run their own business. How can you, graphic design like Rashid? How do you make your own T-shirts and logos? How do you build a, you know what I'm saying? And so we're trying to teach these youth and teach these people, not only just the youth, because we'll start with adults too, but teach them the fundamentals of how can you be your own boss? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we're providing not only just services, but we're developing people. And that's how we see the change in our community.
That's what's up. So now that y'all have been doing this, because it seems like we talked about this probably about a year ago. Yeah, it was the first time that you came on the show. So after a year's worth of work, how do you feel like the community is receiving what you all are doing?
Yesterday was the first time, I think, in a long time where I was just taken back and I had to sit back and be humbled. The outcome of yesterday, from just the number of people that poured out and heard about our event, that was just, they were willing to step out because they're having a passion for the same thing we're having a passion for, that actually want to step forward and be on the front line for it. Ending gun violence. How can we fix the youth problem? How can we, educate our youth better? How can we reach them better? To see that, it was almost like 25 plus people. The news came out, the news is hearing about us, and got certain other organizations that are wanting to partner and actually teach us and take them under their wing. And it's so humbling. Because all that means is that they see the work that we're doing and they see the compassion behind the work that we're doing, and they're really ready to work with us. And so that's a humbling, you got to eat that and just take it, man, and run with it the best way you can.
That's what's up. So we spoke about what happened yesterday, but let's talk about what happened yesterday. And like I said, anybody can answer this that wants to answer this, but what was the event yesterday? Let's talk about it.
I got you, but pull it back for a minute.
Yeah.
Because we all heard Trey's side. Let's hear my side of how emerging business leaders came about.
Let's go.
Let's not forget where it came from now. So kid you not, I was literally driving to the West Coast. I couldn't even tell you what we were thinking about. Only thing I know, I told Trey. I called up Trey literally in the middle of the night, probably 8, 9 o'clock at night, just driving. And we pretty much said enough is enough, because we tried to start an organization about 15 years ago. It never got off the ground because we just kept procrastinating. Life started life, and everybody went their separate ways, and we just couldn't keep everybody together. So this time around, We said enough is enough, and then that's when we use our platform guys business plan. All right, when we know about that, we talked about that a little bit.
We had a whole episode about it.
A little bit, yeah. You had a whole episode on it. So that's pretty much how this originated when we converted our original plan. I think it was like God-centered relationships, and then we rebranded it to a God's business plan. Now we pretty much took that platform, used that platform for emerging business leaders. Since hence God's business plan, it was pretty much towards people with businesses and how God is the best business plan you can possibly use to flourish in your business, because people forget where they come from and they wonder why they start failing. They forget to take a piece of that humble pie and they get beside themselves. And then they wonder why things start going downhill. Mm-hmm. And so literally came out of nowhere, like I kid you not, it literally came out of nowhere. And like you said, it's pretty much almost been a year. We really said enough is enough. We grown now. Let's stop playing. And like I said, that's when he brought in Rashid, he brought in Janelle, he brought in Precious, and he brought in Chris. Now you see what emerging business leader is today. And then that said, we're branching off. Okay, we have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? We have other branches up underneath emerging business leaders. So we're not just all business. We're all community as well. Hence why we partnered with the organization we did for this gun violence event. And like he said, yesterday was huge. First pop-out session was a surprise, but I was flattered because we met some people that I wasn't even expecting to meet. And now, like I said, we had a surprise guest with Channel 5. I still don't know how they heard about us that doggone quick. We had one shout out over the radio, and that's about it. Everything else just been through social media and word of mouth. And then, like I said, we had some really good heavy hitters that popped up that's actually on the ground doing work out in this community to stop gun violence. And so, like, that is very huge. Like, we don't really care about numbers. We just care about the right people showing up. It could have been 3 people that day, yesterday. As long as everybody came up, that's all that matters. So that's my little spiel. If anybody else want to talk about yesterday, y'all go right ahead.
And then one thing that I want to piggyback off what Dominic just said, when he said God is the best business plan. I love how he said that, and I had to think about it while he was talking for a minute. And I think he kind of explained it. It's crazy because I'm learning how business plans really work now. And it's just like when you lay that foundation and you tell yourself like which way things are gonna go. And it's almost like when God is the guide and you doing what he's actually called you to do, it's almost like everything aligns in the most perfect way to allow things to happen. That's the kind of thing that'll put your graphic designer in place, and you know what I'm saying, the shout out on the news that leads to this and that, and the things just kind of spiral, and it's just like things where you sit and you be like, I don't even know how, because it's a lot of times where, you know, me as in trying to run a business, I sit and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then 6 months down the line, it's done. I done forgot about it. And then, you know what I'm saying, we going. So it's crazy to think about just how those things work. I'm gonna go with Nell because she ain't had a chance to talk yet. Then we're gonna go to Trey.
So I kind of wanted to piggyback off both you and Dominic. Both of what you said kind of made me think about something that my grandma used to tell me growing up when I first started becoming an entrepreneur. But she used to tell me all the time, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. Literally, the first pop-up session, me and Trey were running around that room trying to make sure everything was perfect and hoping that we were going to have the numbers. And when I say literally, God placed someone in that room with us who we didn't even know. And she spoke to every single one of us. The pop-up sessions were going to be what they were going to be regardless. But for her to come in and bless us with her story and then bless us with the message that she gave as well, it was phenomenal. And then last night, like you said, we had 2 people from the community come in, and it gave us a perspective that we probably didn't think about. Sitting there talking to one of the women, she's been doing this for a while. She said she really got serious back when the Mike Brown incident happened. And talking to her, it kind of it made things so much bigger than what we thought it could be. And so now trying to work out partnering with them, it's just going to get bigger from here.
That's so dope. That's really cool. Trey, I'm gonna let you. I know I got 2 hands up, so I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just Trey, what you got to say on that?
So, and it's so, I can't even find the words about how, like I said, it was humbling for one, but two, it places this thing about us now. So we have this this swag or this standard that we have to meet now. So to hear most of these social activists and the work they've been doing for years, and then seeing the work they're doing, Miss Eve, Miss Erica, she's been working with young at-risk teens, moms, trying to find them homes and placement, and then resources that are available for them. Dr. Marty, I think it was. She's working with ending the gun violence and trying to work with at-risk youth in North County and St. Louis all around. And there was another brother that sat out there and spoke, and he's working with a group of men that are nationwide, working on just getting ex-cons and felons. And he said, sometimes you just can't write people off. And so when I thought about that, I was just thinking about how we get to doing these programs, and all we do is plan and plan and plan and plan, and we're programming. And I was speaking about this yesterday, and how we overlook the person, we overlook the situation, we overlook the circumstances they're facing, and all we're looking for is just the numbers. And like Dominick said earlier, it could have been 2 or 3. What they say in the church, man, whether there's 2 or 3 are gathered, God is still in the room. And so yesterday came in with the expectation whether there was going to be 2 or 3, or if it was just going to be us, we were still going to have that program, because I knew it was needed. Because of the last young lady that we saw at the last program, and just witnessing and seeing how God moved through her and worked through her, and just, she came literally out of nowhere. I'm gonna tell you, it was so funny. Nellie, the president, she invited her cousin, and the young lady that was sitting out in the parking lot went to college with her cousin, and said, I saw my friend outside in the parking lot, and I was just sitting in the car just thinking, and was worrying about my kids and not knowing where I was about to go. And I saw my friend out in the parking lot, and I said, hey, what you up to? I haven't seen you in like 10 plus years. And she said, oh, I'm about to go to this event. Why don't you come with me? And she comes in, she said, I wouldn't have known. This had to be God, because I was dealing with depression. I was dealing with these things about losing my father and how he killed himself. And I was dealing with this at this time. But there were so many other entities that came in that said this was so healing. So for me, it's more like the impact that it shows on just the one person. And if it's just the one, then look how it spreads to the next person. And if we can impact just a community, look how we can just impact the world, or we can just change our city. And so for me, it's like, man, like, if it's 2 or 3, we still gonna do the work. So the work we're doing now, I know we established this over just building network and relationships and building business development and professionalism, but there's so much other work that can be done. There's so much other work that our skill sets cannot just be used for. We just can't hold it back. So I see all this talent, man. I see all the talent that Rashid has, man, the work that he does, man, and it just amazes me every time this brother comes on and he makes these shirts and he makes these logos and these flyers, man. And I'm like, man, bro, if I had like 20 of you, if I had 20 of Rashid, for real now, look, if I had 20 of Rashid, I'd be doing some work out in the streets now. We had a whole t-shirt factory for real. But the work that he can do, and God has blessed him with that talent, say that we can implement that, and then we can't hold that back. We can't just say, hey, Rashid's blessed, but then he's the only one that gets blessed. God didn't bless us just only to keep the blessing to ourselves. He blessed us so that we may bless other people. In doing so, we have to spread and nourish and expose that talent to other people, so that others may implement what we're doing. We don't want to just, emerging business leaders is not to be this closed off group, or this only boys club or men's club or whatever you may want to call it, or this Black elite. But this is for everybody. We are here for the community. We are here for everybody. I want everybody to eat. So Kristen said it one time, man, we was always trying to look to get at somebody else's table, and we could never get an invite. We got our own table. Now everybody can eat.
Yeah. And that's very much true. And it's a beautiful thing. It's just like a God-given purpose. It's just like, there's a reason why when people say you can be a millionaire and still be miserable. And that's because, you know, when you have these things, it's not meant just for you. One thing that I'm learning about this journey of entrepreneurship, this journey of life is bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? The beauty of it is being able to use your gift and your talent and, you know, the things that you've been blessed with to share with others. Even entrepreneurship, that's all it really is. It's about making money, but it's not all about the money. The real most successful entrepreneurs are the ones that's passionate, because you have to have a passion to make it. Because you're going to have days where you don't want to do this. You're going to have days where you don't want to keep going. You're going to have days where you want to quit. You're going to have days that's just not good, but you push through it anyway because it's passion. And that passion for whatever it is that you do, it affects more than just you. Like, it affects everybody that you touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the show, like, if only 10 people listen to the show, those are 10 people who actually care about what it is that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's just all about perspective and substance. You know, like, we're here to actually make an impact on this world. And if you had an opportunity to do so, take it as a blessing.